Crisis on Infinite Earths is the next big crossover in the Arrowverse, and you probably haven't heard of it. But if you haven't heard of it, you're probably one of those dumb socialite internet people who doesn't look on the internet that often. And that's definitely not me. Anyway, now I'm not going to do a massive video about explaining every single character who's going to be in the crossover. Instead, I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to look at all the characters that have actually been confirmed to be in the crossover who are from different shows or haven't been introduced yet. So we're going to be looking at guest stars and returning characters from other forms of DC TV. Let's do it. Okay, so obviously we're getting 2 versions of Superman in the crossover. Well, 3 versions of Superman. I've mentioned this in the podcast channel, I believe. So we're getting Tom Welling Superman, which we'll talk about later. We're getting Brandon Routh Superman as... Well, we're getting Brandon Routh as Kingdom Come Superman. Now, Routh is actually playing Ray Palmer, or the Atom, on Legends of Tomorrow. But he has actually been confirmed to leave the show, so... He's playing more than one role in the crossover, so people are actually speculating that Ray Palmer will actually die and that we'll see Kingdom Come Superman in Routh's place. Okay, as I just mentioned, Tom Welling, who played Clark Kent in Smallville, is actually reprising his role as the Man of Steel from Smallville. So we've got so many characters from other DC shows. So apparently Clark Kent, Smallville Clark Kent's role in Smallville is, in the crossover, is going to explain what happened in the 10 years since Smallville ended, because the show ended, obviously, 10 years ago. And this sounds really, really exciting. Now, I didn't grow up on Smallville. I don't believe I would have been able to watch it because I probably didn't exist for one point of the show's run, because I hadn't been born then. Anyway, this sounds really promising. Also, Erica Durance, who you probably don't remember, she played Lois Lane in Smallville along with Tom Welling as Clark Kent. So Erica Durance is actually reprising her role as Lois for the crossover. And there's not much I can say because I didn't watch Smallville as a kid, because I didn't exist for one point of its run. So again, it'll be good to see Smallville characters. Yeah. Okay, so Tom Cavanaugh, who of course is in The Flash, he is playing a very interesting role from the Crisis on Infinite Earths comics. And he's playing a character known as Pariah, who, from my understanding, was forced to watch the events of the Crisis on Infinite Earths comics by the Anti-Monitor, who is the complete opposite of the Monitor. Set photos from the crossover show a select number of actors from the crossover, and among those is Cavanaugh, who is playing Pariah. If you look at the picture, you will see Cavanaugh in some kind of suit, which is, from my understanding, accurate to what Pariah wears in the comic. And of course we see Brandon Routh Superman, the Monitor, the Flash, and we also see a few others. Okay, the cast member I am mostly excited for. So if you are somehow not a Batman fan, I don't know what's wrong with you, then you won't know who Kevin Conroy is. And I'll explain for those of you who probably don't know, even though I probably don't need to do it. Kevin Conroy is, he's the voice actor behind Batman, and he has been so for the past over 20 years. He's played Batman in the animated series, the new Batman Adventures, Justice League, and he's also responsible for bringing Batman to life in the Arkham games. And he played Batman for 3 out of those 4 games. Because obviously Arkham Origins was made by WB Montreal, and hopefully Conroy, I really hope he reprises the role for the next Arkham game that's apparently happening. Anyway, Conroy is finally getting the chance to play live-action Bruce Wayne, and I could not be happier. Now, I don't think he's gonna actually suit up as Batman. We might just see him as just regular Bruce Wayne, and he might just be helping out behind the scenes on maybe the Wave Rider or in his own dimension. Now, in terms of what Earth Conroy's Bruce Wayne could be, there has been some speculation he could be playing one or two versions of Bruce Wayne. The first version is apparently he is playing a version of Bruce Wayne loosely based off of the one we saw in Batman Beyond, which would be interesting because Conroy, I'm assuming they probably have to get some kind of stunt double in to do the stunts if he is suiting up as Batman, but I doubt he is. There's also speculation he could be suiting up as the Kingdom Come version of Bruce Wayne, which would mean he's from the same Earth as Kingdom Come Superman. Now, if you haven't read the Kingdom Come comic, you should, because from my understanding it's actually pretty good. It was illustrated by Alex Ross, who is fantastic, and someone I look up to since I write my own comics. In terms of who Conroy might actually be playing, I hope it could perhaps be an old version of Bruce Wayne from the Arkham games, though that has not been confirmed. He is possibly playing a version of Bruce Wayne loosely based off of Batman Beyond or possibly Kingdom Come Bruce Wayne. Okay, so this has also been confirmed via set photos from the crossover. Black Lightning has been confirmed to appear in the crossover, and he may be playing a bigger role than others expected. Now, I don't watch Black Lightning, as probably a small amount of people do, but from my understanding, he apparently has electricity-based powers, just like Storm from the X-Men. Anyway, I'm always up for seeing more people on the show. Okay, another thing I'm actually pretty excited for is Burt Ward, who you probably don't know, has also been confirmed to be in the crossover. Now, this is actually quite a big deal for one reason alone. For those comic fans who are probably very old by now, and probably in their 50s maybe, you'll know that Burt Ward actually played probably one of the first on-screen versions of Robin back in the 60s, and that sounds interesting. Obviously, Burt Ward doesn't look like this now. He's quite an old man now, and for all we know, he could be from the same Earth as Bruce Wayne, so that sounds pretty exciting. Okay, another sort of Batman-related cast member, Ashley Scott, who played Huntress in the Birds of Prey TV show back in the early 2000s, has also, she is reprising her role as Huntress for the crossover, which sounds alright. Again, I didn't watch Birds of Prey. I'm of course going to watch the Birds of Prey movie. Hopefully it doesn't end up being crap like most of the DCU films, but this sounds pretty promising. I mean, I didn't watch Birds of Prey, so it doesn't really resonate with me as much. Okay, again, I don't watch this show, but Tom Ellis, who you might know from various TV shows, most notably I believe he was in Doctor Who. Yes, he was in Doctor Who. He's going to be reprising his role as Lucifer, apparently, for the crossover. Now, Ellis plays Lucifer in the obviously named TV show Lucifer, and, I'm very uncertain if Lucifer is actually a DC character on his own, but apparently he must be because he's in the Arrowverse crossover. So this sounds interesting. I mean, again, they're about like most of the DC shows not in the Arrowverse I have not even watched. Like, I couldn't watch 60s Batman. I wasn't even old enough. Because I didn't even exist. Hell, I don't think either one of my parents were born during that time. Anyway. Yeah, Tom Hanks is in the crossover. Okay, and now take this one with a very small grain of salt, but apparently a rumour has spread that the Titans from the DC streaming service apparently are going to appear in the crossover. I suspect they probably won't appear in a huge role, but apparently they're in the crossover. Now, we don't know specifically which heroes from the team are going to appear, but I highly think it's certain that we'll see Brenton Thwaites as Dick Grayson, and hopefully he will be in the official comic-accurate Nightwing suit that was leaked via set photos. We covered that in the podcast channel, please check it out. It's linked in the channel. Anyway, sure, I'd be up for seeing the Titans. I still need to get to watching the show. And can someone in the comments please tell me if I can watch Titans outside of the streaming service, because I'm in the UK, as you can tell by my British accent. So, that's basically all the characters we know that might be appearing in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, I don't plan on doing a video where I explain all the other main CW characters that are going to show up in this, because that would just be too long a video. I mean, this video is already as long as it is. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully my next video will be a review of the revived Doctor Who series. So I go from like 2005 to maybe the Capaldi era, because I'm not really a huge fan of Whittaker. That's not me being sexist. The series wasn't that good. There wasn't any classic villains. My friend seems to think so. Anyway, see ya.